now it's time for an exclusive first look at the most anticipated film of all time, The Lord of the Rings. They said it could never be done. The story was too big, the world too vast. It would be too dangerous and too difficult. But then, similar things were said when Frodo and Sam set off for Mordor.
I first read the books when I was about 18, and my first thought at that time was, you know, gosh, I can't wait till somebody makes a movie of this. So I sort of waited for 20-odd years.
On October 11th, 1999, Peter Jackson had to wait no longer. This was the first day of principal photography for New Line Cinema's trilogy of movies, The Lord of the Rings. It would be the most expensive and challenging film project in history.
Nobody's ever shot 3 huge movies in a row before, and I think the most interesting thing I've discovered over the last 14 months is exactly why nobody's ever done that. Now I know.
I remember the moment where I heard they were going to make a film of The Lord of the Rings. I was astonished because I thought, how can they do it?
Author Brian Sibley had the daunting challenge of chronicling the monumental project.
And then I met the people who were making it. And as I met them and as I talked to them, I discovered that they cared about the book in the same way that I did, and that their commitment was to make a film that really reflected Tolkien's world.
There's an incredible passion behind this project, which I don't think I've ever witnessed to this extent on any film I've ever had the privilege to work on, because people have come with such love of the stories, and you can feel that in the crew, you can feel it with the actors, that it's something that they know it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
The design of Middle-earth was key. During scripting, Peter Jackson and his writing partner Fran Walsh utilized the centenary edition of The Lord of the Rings, which features 50 paintings by Alan Lee.
Alan's paintings captured the bittersweet mood of Lord of the Rings, and when the film started to become a reality, the question of trying to find Alan Lee wherever he was in the world and seeing if he wanted to be involved became very important to us.
Peter found Alan in the village of Dartmoor, England, and lured him to New Zealand.
It was estimated originally that I'd be out here for between 12 and 20 weeks. But that was 2.5 years ago. And
Peter also brought on renowned Tolkien illustrator John Howe.
John's artwork tends to be like a freeze frame from a film. He's very good at capturing action right at an exciting moment. And so we thought that the talents of both Alan and John combined would give us basically everything that we needed.
Peter deemed the design of Hobbiton to be especially crucial, as the audience must understand what Frodo is willing to risk his life to protect. When he went out to scout the location, Peter brought Alan and John along.
I said that, look, one of the things that's essential with Hobbiton is that this place has to look like hobbits have lived here for hundreds of years. It's very hard to visualize that if you're just looking at an empty field. So one of the things that Alan and John did is they'd sit down on this farmer's land with a notepad, and they would sketch the landscape that they were looking at, except they would sketch it as Hobbiton.
Lord of the Rings is a fairy tale. It's an adventure story. It never happened, except somewhere in our hearts. And yet there was Hobbiton in 3 dimensions and smoke coming out of the holes where they live underground.